Yeah, good evening, everyone. Hope you had a very good weekend and hope the week has started on a very good note for us. And I am so hyper happy this week because this week is our week 5, and it means we have just 1 week to go and to deciding, oh, I want to continue as a UI UX designer, a product designer, or I think I still need to like relax, take more lessons. So whichever it is you are, or whatever category you belong to, that's fine. You want to take a step back and rethink every of the process, that's fine. Do you want to continue and see how it's going to be? That is also fine. There is no decision you take that it is not perfect or okay. So I'm going to say start with. I can see for those of you on the call, I know at least one person that has been working on a project. Joseph, I would like to ask, are you working on designs already? You were not around last week, yeah, and I missed you a bit. I could not call your name for examples and not the rest like I always say. So how is it? How is it going? Have you tried working on any design to see if you are really interested or something you think, oh, you can scale through? If you cannot unmute your hair, I was going to say if you cannot unmute your mic, that's also fine. But you can speak.
Yeah, hello, Tosin. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I'm watching it. There.
Yeah, haven't worked on an assignment yet because of my busy schedule, but I'll make time and do everything and share with you.
Okay, that's very nice. Yeah, I'm really open to you reaching out at any time. And one thing you should know is after this EPC, there is mentor mesh. It is actually a 3 month program. You understand? It's a 3 month program that allows you to do the proper mentoring from me or from any top designer out there because we try to bring in designers that are good to mentor. So these people do it for free and we'll give the service for free. So it's not like we are letting you, it's not like we're going to let those that decide to continue to just leave us like that. Do you understand? No, we are going to just,
Yeah, I got it.
yeah, we are going to also follow up with you if you are interested in going to. Do you understand? Okay, so now for this week, you can see what is presenting right now. That is a show of my own design. That's my own design. That's my splash screen. Call something a splash screen, that is the screen that pops up first and welcomes the user. That is it. So we are in week 5. Week 5. Yes. Week 5, we are talking about high fidelity and visual design principles. Those are the things we are talking about for week 5. And when we talk about high fidelity or visual design principles, you're talking about moving from wireframes to mockup. At the point where you start adding color, start working around the typography better, including images. You understand? This week we'll be talking about color harmony as well, how color guides emotion, how color works with a brand, relatable to a brand. We'll also be talking about visual hierarchy. You understand? We'll also be talking about visual hierarchy. This same week, we'll be talking about consistency and accessibility in UI design. And one task, take home task for this week was take your wireframe and build it to high fidelity screens, which fortunately for me, I already have mine done that I'm going to just be sharing briefly before I move on to explaining our topic for this week. Because what you need to know is you need to understand how design works. You need to understand it is not just we've moved past understanding low fidelity, we've moved past understanding mid fidelity. we've moved past understanding sketches. Do you understand? Now we're at the point where we need to now talk about colors. Do you get? We're at the point where we need to talk about colors. So I'm going to be, this is my screen. Let's move it. So you can now with this, you can tell the difference between a low fidelity and high fidelity. And when you wonder about what is high fidelity of visual design, we're talking about that point in your design where everything is present. Where everything is present, everything is properly done. The colors, at this point in time, you have little to no mistakes available. Because what you perfected, I said something about low fidelity and mid fidelity. Those are the stages where you can still have many mistakes. And as much as you have many mistakes, you can always do your corrections without issues. But at the point of high fidelity or visual design, it is believed that at this point, you have just minimal mistake left. You understand? At this point, you have just minimal mistakes and you are just making sure that everything is as perfect as it should look for users. So this is it. If you So this is it. This is what high fidelity looks like. At this time, everything you need is there. No more placeholders, no more abstract placeholders. The real information are there. And I also said something about how your designs are being influenced properly by your user flow. You can see my user flow inside my file here. This user flow made it very easy for me to draw, design out my screens. Right now, I don't have unnecessary screens. My flow says allowing my task. Yes, my flow says setting notification. That is what my flow talks about. And right now, if we are going to do some minimal kind of, this is just setting push notification. Can you see that when I switch it on, it is switched on? Push notification set successfully. Do you understand? So that is what it is expected of us in design. Do you understand? So this is it. And also when we were looking back at my responses, we are designing based off responses. We talked about how some users actually wanted a quiet time. They wanted a quiet time. So at that point, no notification disturbs them. Little element, let's say, these little things are what makes a user stay glued to your app. At this point on this design, you can see that I have my no disturb icon already here. So it simply lets this user know that, oh, you've moved into your quiet time. Check my own page. This own page that says it is almost your quiet time. Change settings here. At this point, you can see there is no quiet time activated. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. It shows everything is active at this point. Then now, based off my responses I got from my user flow, at this point, I'm not showing the silent mode, the quiet time. This person has chosen probably 9:41 as a quiet time, and this is it. This is it. All notifications disabled, but you can manually check to follow delivery. At this time, nothing works, no notification is coming in. And you see, tiny details like this are what matters. Can you see it here? This is also letting the user know that each of these fields there will not give you notification because it is your quiet time. And look at the nav bar. It's strictly showing I'm at that quiet time, no notification is coming in. So you can easily tell the difference between the two designs. Do you understand? Please, if you can hear me, kindly just react, please. Derek, can you hear me? Yeah, thank you. So can you see that? So this is what we are talking about. So also this week, I had to do that so that you understand that it is not just it is not just by UI, it's not just by how beautiful. I said something in the past weeks that it is not just let it be beautiful. Is this UI fine? Yes. The issue is, can your user easily relate? Can your user understand? Can your user stay satisfied? You get, when they use the app, will not be comfortable. Now, for a user that already told me, or for users that already said, "Oh, I don't want, I want a quiet time, and please, give me a quiet time on the app." And now, when they are using the feature, they can see that I consider that, and they realize that, oh, this was really considered. Such user will want to stick with you. Do you understand? Such user will want to stick with you. Such user will want to make sure that, oh, I don't leave this app. I keep using this app, because you did not just take note of their needs, you also sorted it. Do you understand? So that is one thing you need to consider when you are considering your users or when you are working on your designs. So this week is telling us that high fidelity and visual design principles. I've spoke about, let's share this tab. Let's share this tab. Now, so speaking about high fidelity, like I've been saying, actually, I've been talking about high fidelity as I was explaining. Now we'll be talking about high fidelity in the regards to color harmony. You get, in regards to color harmony. Sorry, give me a second to get this properly said. Yeah. So now, we'll be talking about high fidelity in regards to like adding color. And yes, right there, you can still be talking about from wireframe to mockup. One thing you should know is, once your wireframe screen is into an high fidelity mockup, do you get? That is the color type. You can always give it a better view. Do you get? So one thing we've done, or one thing I've done with my design, is to make sure that my skeleton design that didn't have a color, that didn't have image and all, I've given it a face. I gave it color, I gave it type, I gave it images. Do you understand? And let me repeat this. Let every choice you make, actually, let it serve your user and the persona, putting in mind that your flow has been built based on your persona. Do you understand? So now let's talk about color harmony and choosing the right palette. I'm just going to talk about that briefly to give room for if there's any form of misunderstanding right now. And also remember, this class, this session is streamed. You understand? So if you are watching back, that's no problem. If you have any question, feel free to reach out to me and ask me your questions. I'll be free and willing to respond to that. Now, yep, okay. Talking about color. Color has to do with meaning. In fact, no color has, the color is actually meaning itself. That is, whatever color you are selecting, you are picking, they should serve a purpose. They should what? Serve a purpose. If your primary color should serve as the brand color and the action color. Do you understand? Your primary color should serve as the brand color. It should serve as the action color. Because one thing you should understand is, whatever color you select to represent your brand is what people will see that brand as, is what people will easily identify the brand with. Do you understand? So you have to be very careful to ensure that whatever color you are using relates. The color pays attention to your brand. You don't want to be running a brand that has to do with agriculture, and you are using color red, you are using color black, you're not using the earthly kind of colors. You have the green, some even still consider the burnt yellow as an earthly color. Some people I've come across people argue that. Do you get? Because by the time the argument was, oh, ripe oranges when they're ripe have a touch of yellow, mango when they're ripe has a touch of yellow, or a touch of the brown, the burnt orange, or the orange, sorry. So these are the arguments. So these are the things you consider when you are actually picking colors. Do you get? So when you're picking your neutrals, there has to be background colors that will not contradict your primary color. take a look at the design that is actually previewing right now. If you take a look at the design, you can see that one thing stands out. My primary color is just in my button. As I have it in my button clearly spelled out, I used it as a text. Do you get? I don't have my background color contradicting. Imagine my background color should be black, and I've picked and I'm using the purple as a button as my brown color. You can imagine that it's actually going to be really confusing. Do you understand? It's going to be very confusing for whoever is actually looking at the design, because at the same time, apart from the fact that yeah, sorry, that was my network. Sorry, that's my network. Yeah. One thing that will also stand out is the fact that they will not be able to clearly interact with the app, because considering they are using a dark background over this dark shade of purple, it's not going to stand out. So there's going to be issues with readability and even usability. Do you understand? So that's one thing about color. Another thing again is when you're trying to pick your color, always consider that you should have at least one to two accent color. In this design, I don't think I have an accent color. Let me share the Figma file once again for us to see. I think I do. I do have an accent color. Why? I don't think I did. Yeah. I only have the section colors where I use secondary color, where I use this F5, F5, F5. My background color is FFF. My background color is FFF. Then my section colors, aside from this extra other background colors. So that is it. Then another thing now in color is we talking about harmony types. There are different types. So we have three, I think we have 3 to 4. Yes, we have 3 to 4 harmony types. We have monochrome, we have analogous, we have complementary, and we have triadic. Normally, people will argue it is 3 because they don't tend to include complementary. Yes, some websites, some books don't include complementary. But one thing you should know is we have these 4 types, and they are chosen based on the emotional tone. Now, let's take a look at monochrome. Monochromes are colors that are very calm, and they give this trust aura. Do you understand? You use monochrome colors when you want to pass an emotional tone of calm or trust. And the blue family is actually a very good example of a monochrome color. Another color, the analogous has to do with friendly or energetic, where you want to just give this playful look, at the same time make them see that, oh, you are being serious right now. Do you get? You want to give the energy vibe, at the same time still pass the message of I'm not to be joked with. Do you understand? That's when you use the analogous color. And the green family, the greens and the yellows, they fall into this category. And another color is going to be the complementary colors. This has to do with colors that go well with each other, colors that can sit well with each other. And we have the odorant or the contrast, when you want to use them for probably odorant tone, or even for contrast purpose, just to make sure that the other seats is showing properly. Over the other, we have the blue, the orange, they fall into this category. Do you understand? So one thing we are going to do again is talk about typography and scale. But before then, do we have any question? Yeah, Joseph, do you have any question, please?
Sorry, Tosin. And when you started, you mentioned something about the flow of your design.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, I wanted to know, is it necessary to have the flow before you put everything in place, or like that's the check mark?
Okay. Like I said in, I don't know if it was Tuesday or Thursday, I said something about, and I don't know if it was in this session because I'm sorry, I take too many students in a week. But I know I said in the session and said many a times your user flow might not even be spelled out. Like like I've just done. Do you get it? It might not be designed out or written out. It might just be in your head. Because you need to have a flow, you need to have an intent. When you're designing, design with intent. Like people look at your design and know that okay, this design is going somewhere. This design is leading me somewhere. Do you understand? This design is moving from one part to another. Let them see the design and not just see another random kind of design. Do you get me? So that is the issue of user flow. Your user flow might not be spelled out. Do you get? Might not be spelled out or designed out. That's what I mean. But let's have one. Have one. It's going to save you time. It's also going to avoid it's going to prevent you from having unnecessary, how can I put it? Unnecessary screens. Do you get? It's just going to have you won't have to design unnecessary screens. Do you understand? So you have a user flow. You might not design it out like you normally do if you're doing a case study or something, but have one. It might just be in your jotter. Just something that says, oh, I want to design a logistic app. Yes, okay. What do I want to? What screens do I want to work? Because by the time you don't know what actions you want to perform, do you understand? By the time you don't know what action you want to perform, then how do you design the screen accordingly to fit? Do you get? You can see that there is an issue until you know what you are doing. You're just going to keep designing. By the time you are done, you have like 50 screens. Okay. So see, I can see you have 50 screens there. Can I see your prototype then? You now realize that the screens are not linking up. Almost 50 screens, and you can't pull out at least 10 successful or 5 successful tasks that can be done from your design or from that app or from that product you're working on. Do you understand? So that is why a user flow is very, very important. You might not have to write it out. You might not have to design it out, but have one. Yes, have one. Okay. So I think that question has been answered. So now let's talk about, let me just give you, before I run further, let me just give you a color palette for, say, you're designing a mental wellness app. Do you get? Let me just give you that. And another thing here you can use to like pick colors. A plugin, there's a plugin called Colors. It's Colors. COOLORS. Do you get? Or you can just use the Sigma palette to like pick colors as well. Sure, do I have it? Yeah. Let me just give a run through. Let's talk about it. Let's say you are building a mental wellness app. You can pick blue. You can pick. Okay, yes, Derek, you can speak.
Okay, so I want to know, how do you add in the plugins, maybe icons, plugins, those color
Okay.
palettes, the plugins. Yeah. If you can
Yeah.
demonstrate it for us.
Yeah. Okay. Though we did that in I think the second week, but I'm doing that again. So if you can always be watch at any time, you can always come here. This is the action feature. It has every mini inbuilt access to whatever kits you need to be used in your Figma. This is everything I have. This is showing my recent plugins. You get? It's showing my recent plugins, most of my activities actually. Then we have assets, which is actually my complements, those components that I already have saved or that I've used. You understand? And you can always use the community. And thanks to Figma, the accessing community is actually very easier now. Then we have plugins and widgets. Yeah, you just type whatever plugin you're looking for. Let me say I'm looking for, okay, let's do, yes, because this is what I was going to show us. Yeah, looking for this plugin, colors. Can you see? Allows you generate color palettes. Now you click on it. When you click on it, there's an option to save and to run it immediately. The difference between not saving it and running it is the fact that in case you keep selecting what's it called, plugins, it might leave your recent. And if you don't have the name up there or saved somewhere, you might start looking for it all over or start thinking. So many times I save first. You save. Once you have it saved, it's going to be at the top here. Then you can now click on it and it is going to run. Can you see? Loading colors. So it is going to run and it's just there to generate color for you. Can you see? Let's I'm coming. Let me come down here. Let's do something. Let's do something short. Not something short, but something fast. Okay. Let me use some here. And so now I want to generate this. So it has library. I don't use this plugin on this because this is DesignKid's website and Figma account. Then we have the explore. You get where you get to see different colors, the trending color. Now I've copied the color. I can decide to paste it here. You get? I see. I can come here, copy the color, decide to paste it here. Do you understand? So you can add the colors to document actually. And we have this add colors, color one, maybe here. Okay, this is it. So copy. So this just allows it to generate color actually. So okay. Oh, he has Pro now. Oh, I don't know. I'm sorry, I didn't know because most of these plugins I use is Office plugins, so I don't even know that some of them are okay. Maybe I know some of them are Pro, not everything. So this is color. So that's actually this is just the basic way of searching for your plugins. Do you understand? Or you just right click. When you right click, it shows plugin. Because I have this saved, that's why you can see it. You just come to manage plugins. Do you understand? With manage plugins, it opens that same panel. You get that allows you to search. And if you're saying save, every plugins you save will just show up here. Then you pick whichever is it you want. You understand? So is that useful?
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So now I was saying something about typography and scale. One thing you should know when you're working with in your design, let your type families be at least two. Limit this to two type families. Two, at least two. Do you understand? One display on say headline and one body. If you are using Montserrat, you might want to read more on that. If you are using a sans serif, let your body probably be, if you're using a serif, for an headline, because that's actually the best, for me, a personal opinion. Let me include that. Then you can use a sans serif for body. Everybody agrees to that. Sans serif as body. You can use a sans serif for body. Do you understand? Limit to two type families. Don't use different typeface in a design. It's to you, it might look like you're exploring, but to a user, it's going to get confused. It's not going to give that look that you expect to see. That is why I have said before that when you're designing, design for your user. Do you get? Another thing about typography you should understand is we have a typography hierarchy. We have H1, we have H2, we have H3, we have body, we have label, we have caption, we have placeholder, small, and etc. etc. But the major common ones that is gladly accepted is H1, H2, then body, label, or placeholder, or caption. You need to have these 5 in check. Do you understand? And these always have different sizes. Like now, let's say for a mobile design, like my design right now, my body is 16 pixels. Do you understand? The body is 16 pixels. Then, yeah, we have body to the 16 pixel. Why not show it? Why not show it? Yep. What's the body? Yeah, body 16 pixel. H2 that sounds like an heading is 20 pixel. Then heading itself, which is H1, is 24. Sometimes many people argue about H1 being 24. Some people say, oh, it's better your H1 is between 28 to 34, depending. It can be adjusted based on the platform and based on the kind of design. Do you understand? This is a design that kids cannot operate. Do you understand? This is a design that is not in your everyday use. One thing my project is all about is just generate address, link the address you are given to where you placed your order, and don't worry, the rest just happens on the app. You understand? The rest just happens on the app. So that's it. So your H2 can be between 20 to 24 depending on you, and adjust accordingly. That is a mobile baseline. You understand? And one thing again you should understand about typography is that weight, the font weight and the font size and the color, it establishes hierarchy. It tells which one is more important. It tells which one is what you want me to see. Right now, if you are looking at this design, I can bet that when you come into this page, this welcome alone is attentive. Let's say it's calling attention enough. So one thing you know, before you even notice these small ones, yeah, you've seen the welcome. And after the welcome, you are forced to read what I have under. That is font weight. You can see how bold it is. This should be semi-bold because I use Lato. Yeah, this semi-bold. Then I have this as medium or regular. Okay, that's right. You get. Then I have my email address, which is actually like an heading also, but this time it's more like a caption for an input field. This is it. Then I have this, the placeholders, the small. This is it. So you already let you know that, oh, it's something important here. The color is different. It knows that, oh, this is a field that has to be filled. So that's another thing about using your typography or text properly. So many times, see my password contains letters and numbers. So even if you've forgotten for a minute what your password is all about, one thing you know that right now, my placeholder is telling you is, don't worry. You might have forgotten, but calm down. It contains letters and numbers. Guess what? Then look at this. Forgot password. It's actually calling an attention. It's a caution kind of text. You understand? And also, it's a label. It's a label. You can see I'm using my brown color because it's an action text. Why it is not looking at the buttons because it's not the primary CTA in that particular design. Do you understand? So then we have my button, my primary color, my text, it needs bold enough, then it creates an account here. You get? So that is one thing you should understand about typography and scale. Then before I run off, before we call it a night or an evening, I'm going to talk about imagery and icons shortly. We're talking about images, we're talking about icons, we're talking about reading. Do you understand? These are the things that you need to have or understand in your design. Because one thing is the imagery it supports the emotion. Use of colors, use of authentic photos or illustrations. It can even be your icons too. Yes, your icons can stand in place of image for you. Now, taking a look at this, I could have written home, settings, quiet time, or focus mode, deliveries, profile. But you can see that it looks more presentable without the text just everywhere. And even when it is selected, it just shows. It's just like this in the silent, yes, the quiet time screen. Can you see? This image, this icon here gives it more life. I don't need to write this is the quiet time. The image just makes sure that it is properly, it's giving it's passing the emotion correctly. Another thing about your icons is let your icons match. If you are using field, use field. If you are using line, use line. Do you understand? If you are using And even if you're using field and line, let it be very minimal. Do you understand? Let them match their style. You get so let it be. And another thing is the reading I talked about. For reading, I'm talking about consistency. I spoke about some certain design principles earlier in the program. The rhythm I'm talking about is just about you having consistency. Let your padding be the same. Let your baseline be the same. If it's an 8-point grid, let it be consistent. If you're a 4-point grid designer, let everything be divisible by 4. Do you understand? So that is what I'm talking about reading. I was going to say, do we have any other question? But I said, let me talk about that briefly. So if you have your wireframe already, I would want you to actually go and start working on it. Like you can see mine. I already have mine done. I already have mine done here. So you might want to go and work on your own. Let's just see something of my design actually. Let's see something. I did some very short prototype. Yeah, so let's start the prototype. Yeah, so sorry, I want to start with that. So can you see I did something very short? So you might want to work on it on your login. This course. This is actually very long. I was supposed to let this go, but sorry, I didn't do that. Then my focus mode. Oh, why is my focus mode not going to as possible? Something is wrong somewhere. Oh, sorry, I was going to this bit. Yeah. Okay. Focus mode. This is it. Brings me here. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Then this is to come. Yeah. Yeah. So yes, I think I corrected that. Setting this. Can you see? This is it. This is something very. When you switch it on, it gives you that pop up. Like I wrote here. I said if you save, it just goes back. This is it. Gives you that pop up, push notification successfully set. It comes here, then you go back home. You understand? So that's it. My own short design. So if you have your own design, kindly work on it, add your colors, correct your paddings, make sure it is consistent, make sure there is a reading. Make sure that I can see it and feel it. Do you understand? Just the way you can see this. You can see how clear, enough white spacing, proper use of text in this design. So by the next session on Thursday, I would actually be reviewing any design available. If you can work on a design, that's fine. I'm going to be previewing it just short because the last week is when I'll be reviewing any design I get. Do you understand? So by the next session, I'll be talking about visual hierarchy. I'll be talking about consistency. I'll be talking about accessibility in design because these are actually key things you need to understand and you're able to put in place. This is also going to make me remember that, like I said, if you at the end of the day say, oh, this is not for me, I remember I have 2 people that were graphic designers and they said, okay, let me even see what product design UI UX is about. One person has gone back to be a graphic designer. He actually said, you know what, ma, product design, it only looks simple. It's not what I expected. And let me stick to my graphics. And I was like, even for me, I was just laughing. Even for me, I'm like, graphics is just something that is, I always tell people that, oh, those that tell me graphics is just the senior brother of UI UX. No, each of them have different techniques to achieve a goal. Do you understand? They have different techniques to achieve a goal. So I just said, okay, are you sure you don't want to be? He said, no, ma, no, you are really trying. I'm not interested. So that's one thing I want everyone to know. So it is very fine if at the end of the day, if you come to the conclusion that it is not something you want to do, nobody's going to hold you against it. But if it's something you want to do and you want to put your heart to it, feel free to join the mentorship program. Tell people you know. And if you think that, oh, you don't work when we're free, there is actually a paid, we have an academy for advanced learning that you can always enroll on. And don't worry, everyone from Design Gate gets the discount. So do you have any question? And yes, this is just me playing around my design. Yes, I'm showing it again because I actually love the logo screen. I love simple and straightforward design. So do you have any questions? It's just we have over 9 minutes to the end of the class. Any other questions? Do we have any other question? Any question? Do we have any question? Do we have any? Okay, I'm going to believe that we don't have any question and we understood everything I've said so far. So please, if you've not started working on your design, go and work on your design. I would love to say. And if you think you can't work your design, that's also fine. But it is better to practice it. Don't just look at it and be like, oh, it looks like something that is hard. You get it's not something hard. Practice it and confirm that for yourself. Though I have people that practice it and be like, I can't continue. That's also fine. But it's a field that you will enjoy doing because I can remember that I wasn't feeling too well earlier. But when I started designing, I just felt my energy come back and I was pumping. So next week is the last week of the program. Feel free to join, and by next week we'll be sending out. Like I said, everybody gets a certificate of participation. You all get a certificate of participation, but certificate of completion that says, "Oh, this person went through our boot camp." Because, like I said, we are registered, and so we still have leverage. It's 2,000 naira equivalent to your currency, but for participation, it's going to be free because the so nice, not this number started, and no, this is not the number we should be handling. So that is like our own way of giving back. So if you are living with two certificates, that is also fine. Completion and participation. Oh, that's really good. So thank you so much for joining this session this evening. I look forward to seeing you on Tuesday and on Thursday. Sorry, do have a very wonderful day and a wonderful evening. Sorry. Goodbye. Goodbye, Ghana. Goodbye, South Africa. Goodbye, Kenya, and goodbye, Nigeria.